Yes, indeed. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Black and Gold Show. I'm your host, JB. On this wonderful Wednesday night, you are here tuned in. Black and Gold Show, Bama State Football, dedicated to Bama State Football. And this is a special edition. This is a very special show, ladies and gentlemen. As you see, I am joined by two legendary people, two of Bama State's greats, L5B brothers, Omega. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, and you've probably seen one of the guys on the show before. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all do this for me, right? If you're just watching us for the first time or you a regular, please hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and share this out to your people. We on here talking Bama State football, Bama State alumni, L5B, and it's gonna be a great show tonight. So without further ado, man, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to these guys. Let them introduce themselves. First of all, my guy up here at the top, right here, y'all know him, Mr. Thomas TC Catchings. How you doing, my guy? I think you're muted. Got TC muted. Let's see if he got unmute himself.
How about now? You got me?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Man, I'm back, man. Appreciate your patience, man. Look, I'm blessed, man. I thank God for the opportunity to be here today. I'm excited about what's going on this year. I'm excited about you, especially, man. But as you said, my name is Thomas Catchings, 1991 SWAC champions, a Heritage Bowl champion, Black College champions, the president currently of the Alabama State F5B Alumni Association. Excited about what we're doing. I can't wait to get into this and talk more about what we got going on and what the buzz is for this year as well. Glad to be on the team.
Appreciate you for joining once again, man. It's been about a year and a half since I had you on. Yeah. And I want to thank you, man. Every time I reach out, you here for me. So I appreciate you for that. Also, man, we bringing another guy on with us, man. Your vice president, L5B vice president, Chris Trill Hill. How you doing today?
JB. Hey, JB, man, I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm coming to you at 3 o'clock in the morning from Germany. Wow. But, it is a pleasure and a blessing to be here with you. Sometimes I think about being the vice president and riding side saddle with TC. I don't know what I'm doing right behind the DB, but, we're gonna make this thing work. But glad to be on the show. Wide receiver at Alabama State from 91 to 94. So I was a freshman on the national championship team, walked in with TC and E-Rob, Aunt Lou, and all these guys being seniors and being able to learn a lot from them as a young buck walking in. So glad to be here.
Awesome, man. We appreciate you, man, for waking up out of your sleep, to join us all the way from Germany. But TC also said Q Dogs don't sleep. That's what the rumor is.
They don't sleep, man. Look, I see the wardrobe change real quick on me.
Hey, we got to get it right. We got to get it right, baby.
So we know if Omega's in the house, y'all know what's up.
Yeah, man, I'm proud of that cat, man. I'm proud of Chris, man. He's really, really good guy, man. Really good guy.
Yeah, yeah. And Chris, you're a colonel you're a colonel right now in the Army, right?
Yeah. So I'm still active duty. TC as well. TC, Lieutenant Colonel. But yeah, I'm a colonel currently stationed in DC, but I move around quite a bit. So I've been over here in Germany for a few weeks. I'll be here for a few weeks. So yeah, I'm still wearing them boots.
That's what's up, man. Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you for your service, because a lot going on, and the military do great things. So we appreciate you as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay, all right. So if you guys know why we're here, man. If you don't know why we're here and you're watching the show, this is the L5B Alumni Association president, vice president. TC, tell the people what's the origins of L5B, and what do you guys do?
Well, take it all the way back, man. We got F5B. A lot of people realize F5B is a play on for football, five ball, right? But a lot of us, as we grew up in this thing, coming to Alabama State, started saying FIB, what we started realizing and felt like it would be more of a brotherhood. So a lot of us took on the FIB as forever my brother. Because as you know, when you're in an organization like this and you're out there on the grind every day, all day, just like Chris talked about the military, you become one family. You become a bond that is just very hard to be broken, right? You know, but what happened was Reggie Barlow, a few other guys, man, came together after DeVaris Jackson passed away, you know, and wanted to do something for him, for the football program, and for him specifically, because they either played with him or coached him. And so what they did, which was I thought was commendable, they actually started the Alumni Association. First, it was just the guys. It was guys that they knew each other, got together, put some money together, and start doing things specific for the school and for the DeVaris Jackson group. And then, so what Reggie Barlow did was say, "Hey, look, man, I think we can take this bigger." So Reggie reached out to me and some more guys. We all shared this link on Marco Polo. He started kind of talking to us about what this was all about and things like that, man. And before you knew it, you know, you had guys joining all over the place, everywhere that want to be a part of this something big. Because we always learned back when Coach Markham was coaching us, was planting a tree. You hear us say that all the time, and I think that is so powerful when you hear the words, because understanding that the person that plants the tree is not the one that feels the shade. It's not the one that comes under the tree. So because of that grind, because of doing those things and the work being on the field, we just said we agreed that, hey, even though we weren't playing football anymore, we could still be a part in some way, some form of fashion. Because obviously, when I was going there, they didn't have the things that they have now. And I'm sure some of the names I'm going to give you here in a few minutes, they didn't have the things that I had. But again, so it was a building block. And then again, the love for Alabama State, the love for the program, and also HBCUs. We believe, and obviously as we continue to grow, is that HBCU is the crux of all African-American people. We believe that when HBCU was created, it was created for us specifically, with us in mind. So the idea is to try to continue to push forward on that, continue to elevate that, continue to talk about it in all kind of venues and things like that. And we do that also by showing who we are. You know, we learned a lot from Alabama State. We learned the right things to do. So obviously, whenever we're out there, we want to represent Alabama State as well, as long with our family and everything else that we go through. So that's kind of how it kind of got started. And then from there, it just kind of took flight, man. Bros, we would pick up the phone and call bros on the phone we played with. That was kind of our charge. Yeah. And they started signing up. And then from there, obviously, we manifested into a larger organization where we're able to start giving back to the school as far as different type of equipment, uniforms, different things like the smoke. If you think about when the guys come out now, they come out because our Alumni Association decided to say, hey, we talked to the guy. They said, hey, man, we would love to come out in some smoke. Mm-hmm. So, hey, you know, I thought that was pretty cool as well. We didn't have that. But I thought that was pretty cool. So what we end up doing is getting together as a group. We start buying smoke or renting smoke for the guys, man. We're excited about it. We want to only get better. We want to try to grow. And that kind of goes into the weekend. Next weekend, we're going to talk about growing the organization, because we got a lot of former football players out there that know a little bit about us or don't know about us at all. And it's going to give us an opportunity to share that as we go forward.
That's awesome, man. And like I say, I know not only the football team, but the community appreciates you guys, what you do for these young men, and keeping that legacy going. You know, Chris, so you being the vice president, like, what are some things you do to help TC do what he does?
You know, one thing I always knew about TC, even back as a young man, was you could see the leadership, the pure leadership traits TC had, even back in the early 90s. And, you know, when we reconnected and we start working together with FIB, TC is a tireless worker. You know, if people knew how much time he spent doing what we need to have done in FIB, they'd be amazed. So what I wanted to do as vice president, as much as I can, is come in and take some of that load off of him. You know, figure out what's on his mind. You know, what's the direction and the vision for the organization. And as any good vice president would, you know, let me take on that for you, and let me. And again, it's hard to keep up. You know, I'm a hard worker, but it's hard to keep up. TC is a very tireless worker, but we really just put our heads together and try to come up with the best plan possible that we then turn around and put in front of the brothers. And say, okay, this is a plan that we have. And I tell you, 9 times out of 10, or 9.5 times out of 10, they get behind the plans that we come forward to them with. And whether it be golf tournament, whether it be some of the other fundraising things that we've done, the tailgating, all the things that we are looking to do to make being an athlete, a football athlete at Alabama State, a better experience. It's been 35 years since I stepped foot on that yard for the first time. And TC got there 4 years before I did, so it's been almost 40 years. And to know that there's still passion that we have for the school and passion that we have for those kids, to let them know that we're still there for them, not just as players, but as young men.
Yeah. Awesome, man. It's great to hear you guys talk about that and doing what you guys doing. Like you say, almost 40 years since you guys have been on the field or been at Alabama State, and you still doing great things for the school, for the football program as well. So that's great to hear. So for anybody who wants to donate or be a sponsor for the FIB Alumni Association, I have the link in this video, in the description of this show. You can just go to the website right there in the description and check it out. TC, what are some things, like how can people explain how can people be involved with FIB?
So a couple of things. So the FIB Alumni Association is made up of former football players, athletic trainers, and athletic managers that work for the football team. So we have a large net of people that we touch. So what best way for us to do is to get the word out. We try to get them to say, hey, reach out to Thomas, reach out to Chris, reach out to somebody in the organization, because most of the time, I don't think there's been one time that I've reached out to any football player, whether I knew him or not, that didn't join the organization. And that's a testament to not just them, but also Alabama State and the love that they have for it. So really, for us, man, if you go out on the website, if you donate, obviously there are several ways that Alabama State is reaching out for people to donate. We're one of them. We're a nonprofit organization as well, and all the proceeds that we make go to the football program. They go to the football program, as you've seen some of the things that we do. So again, for the most part, man, go out there, like on our Facebook and pages, put our name out there. And if you have a dad, or uncle, or brother, or cousin, or anyone that's played football at Alabama State 1 year or all 4 years, whatever the case may be, have them reach out to us. We would love to be able to talk with them for a few minutes, see where their head's at, and see if there's something that what we're doing right now is something that they feel like they can get along with.
Right. Awesome. And Coach Eddie Robinson is part of FIB, right?
He's a lifetime member. He's a lifetime member. Actually, like I said, when we started, obviously, it really kind of took flight. When I became a part of it, with Reggie Barlow was actually the president at the time. When I came a part of it, Eddie was just coming on board. So obviously, my former football player, we played football together. We came in together and everything like that. So I was excited about him coming on board. I kind of knew his mindset, knew his mentality, knew his work ethics, obviously. And I felt like he was going to put a really good product on the field and off the field. And I'm really excited about him and proud of him and what he's doing as well.
Yeah, man. Coach E-Rod has done a great job. 5 years at Bama State. We still looking for him to do even bigger and better things moving forward. So, shout out to Coach E-Rod. Now, also, we got a big event, a big weekend coming up, actually. So, I think I want to move to the next screen and show you guys what we got going on. There we go. So, if people didn't know, we're 10 days away, actually, from the Black and Gold game, which is April 11th at ASU Stadium. 11 a.m. is kickoff. But it's a lot of events that go on that whole day and on Friday as well. You want to give us some of the rundown of those events that's taking place?
Absolutely. I see Rock. You got the guy right there, man, with the power and the fire right there. Rock on the front of the screen, man. Good dude. But I'm gonna tell you real quick what's different. What I think is different this year. Obviously, every year we come back to a university around the spring game. The football team does, and we do certain things. Alabama State has actually taken up on themselves to where now they do pretty much every sporting organization. So whether it's the football or basketball or baseball, they have a weekend for them. I think this is special for a couple of reasons. One, this time we're highlighting champions. As part of the deal, man, we're gonna have, as I go down the list, we're talking about a championship environment. I always felt like in order for Alabama State to get to a certain place, they had to tap into something that was exciting. They had to tap into a championship mentality, environment, people. And I think this year, as we come back next week, you're going to have the SWAC 2000, the SWAC East 2001, 2003, 2004, 2010, the SWAC champs in 91, 2002, SIAC champs 1935, 36, 65, 1966, and obviously the HBCU Black College Champion 1991 are going to be in the house next week to really talk to the football players, mingle with them, and get them, show them the mentality and the idea. Because I tell you, champions know champions. I can tell you that much, right? So let me tell you what's going on next week. So for us, the football program, we get there started on Friday. Like you said, there's some things going on. The golf tournament. So there's a big golf tournament going on there, Lagoon Park on Friday. Obviously, registrations at 7:00 a.m. Shotgun start at 8 to 12. That afternoon, the football team or football members, former football players, are going to have a welcome reception at the Stadium Club Lounge. Doors open at 6:15. We're there from 7 to 9. Food, drinks, telling stories and getting to know each other. Saturday morning, we get up on a really good, exciting day breakfast. It's going to be at the same place at the stadium again, starting at 8:45. Doors open from 9 to 10:30. Then we'll take a group picture. Obviously, bring your cameras out there so you can take pictures of the guys or people that you play football with that you've seen over the years as well. Then obviously we got the spring football game. We got the game. Man. It's going to be exciting for that. And then we're going to go and support our girl. We're going to go they have a flag football game that same day. I think you were talking about last week. So we're going to go out there, support them, talk with them, cheer them on as well as we do when we talk about swarming as one. That evening, though, we're going to have what we call all decades event, all decades player event that evening at the Hardy Center. Doors open at 6:30 as well. And all the proceeds that we make during that weekend is going to go to the football program as well. So if you're in town, if you're coming around or you're driving through, come by and shake the hand of some champions, some former football players that's done this thing over and over again, is ready, not just ready to come back, but ready to show into these players, these coaches, the fans, because I do think the fans are an extremely important part of that environment. When you're trying to say you want a championship environment, the fans have a very, very, very important role in doing that as well. But that's an action-packed weekend. Like you said, a lot of other things going on, so we're going to be all over Montgomery, man, swarming as one.
That's awesome, man. Great breakdown of that too. For the people who may be watching this who didn't know what was going on, TC just laid it all out there. I'm sure it'll be a printed version posted on social media so everybody can see what's going on as well. But absolutely, man, we 10 days away from the Black and Gold spring game, Bama State women's flag football game right after that. As you guys have been watching the platform, I cover Bama State flag football as well. So we will be there in attendance and rooting on the girls right after we watch the spring game. So absolutely. Yes, sir.
Hey, JB, I want to throw this out real quick too, man. I want to just share just real quick. So when you think about football, man, obviously when you're in school, you think about sports, you think about different things like that. But I want to tell you, we have guys, man, that have graduated and moved on. Like we just talked about Chris. Chris is a colonel in the military. I retired 26 years as a lieutenant colonel in the military. We have guys that own businesses that are doing great things for Alabama State, or at least representing Alabama State in that way. But we got a couple of guys I want to just shout out to, man, real quick, like Ben Harris. A lot of people know Ben Harris, 1976. A guy named Cornelius Benson, the oldest player we got in the organization. He played in 56, 57, man. You know how long that's been? 56, 57. He is still in love with Alabama State. He joined the organization. Curtis Green, 77 to 80. Greg Brown, 79 to 83. Ike and James Daniels, 72, 76. Jeff Reese, 77, 80. We have a plethora of guys out there, man, that not just went through the football program, but have been in the military, been to war, and have come back and have stories to tell, man, about why Alabama State or why the football program was so important to them and why it is that they want to continue to give back to the program. So I'm excited about those guys. Hopefully a lot of them will come down. You get to meet them and just hear the stories, man. I mean, the story that they tell about their life back then compared to the way it is now, man, is crazy. And it is something to see, something to hear about. So I hope a lot of you guys come back and get to hear these guys take a few minutes to share what they're speaking about it as well.
All right,
man, that's awesome. Go ahead,
and JB, if I can tag in on that, and see this is why we're a good yin in the yang, because that's exactly one of the points I wanted to bring up, is that You know, when we look at FIB and the impact that we believe we can have, it's not just buying equipment. It's not just the things that you see, but it's also when parents are thinking about sending their young men to Alabama State to be football players. How great is it to have examples of what former football players look like out in the real world? You know, to be able to talk to these kids about, hey, I see that you're studying, you know, to become a dentist. Well, guess what? We got two bros that played football here at Alabama State. They know what you're going through on the field, and they were able to translate that into a successful profession after they left this school. Because let's be honest, for a lot of these kids, when they walk off that field as a senior, that's going to be the last time they cleat up. That's going to be the last time they put on pads. They've got to get out into the real world. They got to raise families. And so to have a cohort of men who have already done it, who've been there, who've done this, who are ready and just waiting to mentor these young men and to take them under their wings, that's another part of the FIB organization that I think is extremely powerful. So yes, we're going to have a good time talking amongst each other, like TC just said, and we use these events to get together, you know, but when they bring the recruits in, it's great to talk to parents, you know, to let them know that you have successful men that have matriculated through Alabama State, got their degree, and now they're out in the world doing great things. So this is a good place to send your son, not just to become a great football player, but to become a productive man in this society.
You muted now. You muted.
Yeah, now I'm muted. Okay, now we good now. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. Yeah, that was well said, Chris. Because I mean, a lot of people don't realize that they just look at football, right? But it's life after football, and it's things like life goes on after you get done playing. So
that's right. It's
like a brotherhood. That's why I really respect what you guys do, and I look up to what you guys have done and continue to do. So and another thing people forget to realize that a lot of legacies come through Bama State. Like a lot of players that play, their sons will play, you know, and you know, their grandsons. So just to keep that legacy going and supporting the HBCUs and the program is very big, man. And you guys do great doing that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see everybody in the chat. We appreciate y'all for joining in, tapping in with us.
You know, it's crazy you said that, man. I got a son, Brandon Slater, that played linebacker a few years after I left.
Really?
Played Eric. I mean, exciting young man doing great things in the world as well. I got, and I'm crazy as a DB. You know, I got a guy that works with me here. I still work as a government civilian at a military base, and he has a son named Jalen Wiggins. Remember that name? That guy, man, been working with him. Good kid, good head on his shoulders. He's coming out, got another year. And we're bringing him to Alabama State. So he's coming down to one of the camps this year with his dad to Alabama State. So I hope you get a chance to meet him because, again, he's going to be a name that I really think you guys are going to enjoy hearing about.
All right.
Okay. That's hey, breaking news right there. That's what I'm talking about. I like it. So I can't let y'all slide without talking about that 1991 team, right? So I mean, first of all, shout out to Coach Eddie Robinson, who's going into the Black College Football Hall of Fame this summer. Class of 2026, well deserved, by the way. So want to also give him a shout out for that. But that 1991 team, man, the Black College Football Champions. I got some pictures I took from social media, man. Y'all remember some of these pictures?
Look, man, them guys right there, man. Them guys right there. Wow. Them boys, them boys right there, man. On and off the field.
Yeah. Y'all ain't in them pictures right there? Y'all don't see y'allself?
Man, I see TC right in front.
I'm the guy in front with the red
with the shades on.
That's you right there, TC?
That's me, man. That's me, Doc.
You look like Ludacris.
Hey, one lady said that we look like the New Edition, me and Ricky Jones, like we can really go play somewhere.
You know, and the crazy thing is, and again, when this picture was taken, I was still in high school, right? You know, these guys, you know, they got there 4 years before I did. But just earlier today, TC and I were on a phone call. We were just talking about some of the things that went on during that time. So you look at these guys, you know, with their suit and ties on, they looking all dapper. Let me tell you something about these guys, man. These guys here were some dogs on and off the field. And they could talk to you for days about some of the things that they went through on the field, but there's just as many stories off the field. But all those things is what make those guys so close, and what created the bond, and what we saw, as freshmen coming in and watching them do what they do.
Yeah, man, it's awesome, man. Then you see right there with the championship trophies, and yeah, man.
Wow,
Coach Markham.
And you crazy. They got number 41 right there was a nightmare. They got number 41. Look, and now Chris played on offense. So when we started talking about the 91, he gonna have to give you some stuff on offense, and I give you some stuff on defense. But I can tell you for a fact, nobody in practice wanted to go against that cat, number 41, at all, ever. That dude, man, was 1,000% every time you saw that cat.
Hey, look, and I will also tell you in practice, as a young receiver, you wanted to stay away from 41, but you always wanted to know what 35 was.
Always.
Yeah. Because 35, Manny Martin was a bit of a terror back there.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. See, we get the best of both worlds. We get defense from TC, we get the offense from Chris.
So I'm gonna tell you. So really, again, I tell you, anything when you start thinking about championship environment, when you start thinking about winning something big, Eddie has one of his, every year he gives out a word that kind of motivates everybody. And this year's endure, endure. And I think that's great, but I think we got to look at it in a lot of different ways. Enduring the television, enduring the newspaper clippings on how good you are, realizing that, hey, it's something bigger. Enduring, obviously, we're talking about practice, we're talking about the hot days, talking about all that stuff too, man. But the focus is also trying to get into school, trying to make sure you're doing what you have to do. But one thing that really, I believe, was really separated us for those years when we went undefeated as a championship team was the mentality. We knew each other to the perspective that we were not going to let this other person down. We were always, and it was always a situation where we felt like, I got to do my part. You always hear people saying, I just need one person to make one play.
That's right.
You had 11 guys on the field trying to make that one play, regardless of the fact. And I always like to give that guy number Thomas Catchings a little attaboy, because the very first football game we played during the 91 year, we played Jackson State in Atlanta. We beat them by 1 point. Right. And you wouldn't believe that 1 point came from a block PAT by that guy number 11, Thomas Catchings.
That's right.
1 point that you would have never thought, with explosive as our teams were, that 1 point would have decided the game. But that 1 point catapulted us into a 91 season that was there to remember, right? So again, when I think about us and come from Jackson, Mississippi, back in during that time with me, Ricky Jones, Anthony Lewis, Kevin Fields, and a few other guys that came from Jackson, Mississippi, man, it was about not going back. It was about not letting each other down. We missed the SWAT by only a few points the year before. And that was so devastating to us at that particular time, but as you know, and we talked about this earlier, was that you don't have those four-year teams anymore. That's the big difference. That's the big difference that Eddie has to deal with now. You had us for 4 years, and Coach Markham had us for 4 years growing up together as freshmen. A lot of us played as freshmen, and over those years, we grew, we learned, and we were able to understand where we were on the football field and with each other. That's a little different. The dynamic a little different. Again, like I said, I give Eddie Robinson all the credit in the world for being able to navigate that type of environment, because that's not what he grew up in. Right. He grew up in that environment anyway. But again, I want to really emphasize this year. We talk about this year because we remember last year. We remember the one play or the one yard that we missed in Mississippi. Remember the few things that Body did on the football field. All those type of things. But when we do that, we have to try to remind ourselves that that's yesterday. That's yesterday, man. Yeah. That's not today. And we got to make sure that our football team and our fans stay focused on the goal. I heard your podcast last week. We're starting in Birmingham and Alabama, and we're going to finish in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of things that got to happen in between. There's going to be some good days and some bad days in between that. And the actual mentality of those guys because you got some good guys that are coming back, which I think is great. You got those guys that really got down and buckled down. Some guys did leave, but you have a group of guys that stayed for a reason. And I think that's where your secret is. That's where your understanding of how we get to where we're going. You know, like you're interviewing a couple of guys that played offensive defensive line last week.
Yeah.
It's going to be serious. It's going to be serious because we're not going to sneak up on anybody. Body, our receivers, they're not going to sneak up on anybody. So they're scrimmaging, they're practicing right now on how to defend our offense, right?
Yep.
That's big time for us. That's big time for us. So we got to go in with every game, not realizing yesterday is over with. Now today we're gonna have a whole different offense, whole different defense. And as a defensive player, for me and our team when I was out there, is I knew what the other person was. We knew how to support each other, you know, and we were not going to come out the football field defeated. We felt like we had to make that one play in the fourth quarter to win the football game. We felt like we had to make that one play in the third quarter to keep us ahead. We always believe that our offense, and you know, Ricky Jones, man, those guys were electrifying. You know, and you hear stories about Reggie Downtown Brown and all those guys. Man, we have not just those guys, we have so many other guys that were superstars on that football team. But I'm telling you, when they come to the sideline, it's just one play, stop them one time, we're gonna win this game. That's how you got to be. And again, I think if you remember last year, we were in some games. But late in the season, late in the game, things started to kind of unravel just a little bit. And they got away from us before we kind of catch back up. That's where we got to fix. Those are the things that the 91 teams just realized that we got to fix that. When our offense jumps out there, that's it. That's it. We're all on the same page at that point. We're not giving up more touchdowns than they throw. And that was the mentality that we had when going as a football player. I mean, as defense. What about you, Chris?
You know, I give a lot of times when I speak about team, I will say, you know, with my full chest that the greatest team I've ever been on is being a member of the United States Army. I fully believe that, but that's more so because of what's at stake. You know, you're talking about lives at stake. You're talking about people, you know, going into a mission, going into combat and potentially not coming home. But where I learned to be a winner was in 1991 in Montgomery, Alabama, and Alabama State, because what I did is exactly what TC said. I came into a situation where I was around a team that the previous year believed that they were the best team in the SWAC. But because of a few inches here or there, they didn't win the SWAC. So going into 91, myself, Reggie Barlow, D. Elliott, L.C. Sertan, John Fagan, all of us freshmen that came in that year, what we saw every single day in practice was a group of men, young men, who had decided that they were not going to do the same thing again. And I think when we would recite the creed that you hear the team saying now, I want to say it was Darren Hardy at the end of the creed would say something along the lines of, we is not going to lose this game. And they just refuse to lose. And if you look at that picture, if you ever see that picture or that portrait of TC blocking the extra point, and we talk about a single point, that point could have been the difference. It would have been the difference in winning the SWAC that year. And how many times have you seen an extra point block? Not a field goal where the kicker has to take that extra tick to kick it deep, but the quickest play in football outside of a quarterback sneak is an extra point. And for TC to get around that corner and block that kick in the first game of the year, it set the tone that we are not going to lose. And from an offensive mentality standpoint, the talent was there, but it was the precision that was necessary. And the coaches were hard on the players, and the players had matured to a point to where they accepted hard coaching. I know early on in some of them careers, they didn't quite accept that hard coaching the way they did towards the back end. But they accepted that hard coaching, and it showed up on the field. In some instances, from what I observed, the games were not as hard as practice in some instances, you know, because, you know, we were practiced that hard. So it was a winning mentality, and I think there are a lot of similarities in that 91 team to what we have coming back this year with Alabama State, because we were very close last year. We were very, very close last year.
Yes.
And if they take on the mentality that we have to be the leaders, it's not up to the coaches, it's up to us on the field between the lines to not let those things happen again. I think this is the perfect year to have those players to talk to members of the 91 team, because I think that there are going to be a lot of similarities and things that they can talk about to help them get over that hump so that we can get to our ultimate goal this year.
Man, couldn't have said it no better. Couldn't have two guys on here who was experienced the wins, experienced, almost doing that. And like you just mentioned, Chris, from having that year prior to the 91 year, to see the team was being so great, then you have to learn how to win. And you did that in 91. But absolutely, y'all get the guys to talk to this team coming up, and they will overcome what happened last year. And it will only get better. It will only get better. So I really, I'm on that with y'all. I'm with y'all on that. Absolutely. Somebody asked, it was a couple questions in here, man. Let me go back to this picture. They want to know who number 41 is.
That boy name is Jerry Green.
Jerry Green.
Jerry Green. Look, I watched Jerry Green not want to run it back tooth out his mouth minute. Man, look, I'm not telling you no lie. I'll tell you what I know, not what I heard, man. Look, they were, like I said, we practice differently than they do now, man.
Yeah.
And the crazy, so real quick, it was, the running backs and the linebackers are always kind of tangled up with each other, right? So they were running it. So the linebackers were blitzing, and the running back had to figure out whether they doing a pass block or they were blocking down hard. Man, this cat came almost like he was just going to try to swim or kind of go around him, right? Before he knew it, man, he had dropped down and put his helmet and his head right up on his chin. Man, knocked his tooth out his mouth. Gone. I mean, he went through the whole year. The whole year he went through without a tooth. I mean, in front of his mouth, not on the side, but the one right in the middle of his mouth, man. So that guy Jerry Green, I'll tell you, man, Jerry Green.
Hey, TC, that was your homeboy, right, TC?
Yeah, Dexter Smothers. That was him. That was my homeboy, man. I would have to go in and talk to Jerry about that, man, but he was a little bit too psyched out at that point, so I left him alone. I just kind of consoled Dexter a little bit more, man. Don't worry about it. It'll be all right.
Hey, JB, when you watch football on TV these days or in person, and you see these wide receivers just running across the middle of the field with no fear. I mean, just running across there like it's just 7-on-7. Jerry Green was one of them types where if he's dropping back in that zone and you think you just gonna run past him, you got another thing coming. And he was the epitome of an old school linebacker, downhill linebacker. Yes. And he was perfect for the scheme.
Oh yeah.
Man, I know y'all got plenty of stories, man, from the night. And I've heard a lot of them, and I can listen to a whole lot of them. I mean, all day long. We got some good people in the chat, man. Shouts out to Israel. Hey, Jackson State, Jerry Green, her brother. So we got some good people in the chat tonight, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, like I said again, I mean, there's a lot of stories. Obviously, and that's what built our family. That's what built our relationship. Those stories, those things we can sit back and tell, whether it was in the dark, whether it was in the light, whether it was on the football field, whether it was in the dorm. There was so many things that we went through. You had guys coming from all over the place. They're at home that decide not to go home. They stayed there with the football program. Like I said, when we would practice, when there was no practice.
That's right.
We were talking about plays when there weren't any practice, when there weren't any coaches around. Mm-hmm. Ricky Jones was a student of the game. He knew everything he needed to know about what was going on. So I mean, so on and so forth. So you had those students on the football field. Emmanuel Martin, hands down. Emmanuel Martin was running our offense, running our defense. And tell you, he was lights out. If Jared didn't hit you, man, and Mark gonna hit you. If Jared did not hit you, man, and Mark gonna hit you. Man, we played one game, man. I don't know if it was FAMU, where we were. Man, this cat was coming across the field 2 or 3 times, and man, it was laying him out. One time hit the dude so hard. This time, man, both of them just laid on the field. I thought, man, it's killed itself. I mean, it was just that way, man. Now I'm gonna tell you, he couldn't catch now. He couldn't catch Cole. He could not catch one lick, man. You don't throw it to him at all. He is not going to catch it. But other than that, oh man, you knew if he was behind you, he was going to get there. He was going to get there.
That's right.
Yeah. if y'all got any questions in the chat, man, you know, feel free to give us a few questions before we get out of here. You know, try to catch these guys while we got them right here. But see, we know Chris, you over there in Germany, man. You know, you up 3:30 in the morning right now, so we appreciate you a lot, man, for getting up and joining us right now, man.
Hey, you know, this is the passion, right? You know, I think Reggie Barlow was the first person I heard say this. He said, how does a man spell love? T-I-M-E. If you watch where a man spends his time, you'll know what he loves. You know, so for me, you know, I can't always be there. TC will tell you there's times where, you know, I got to pop out, and same thing. We all got careers. We got families, and sometimes we can't be there. But when we can, we show up. You know, presence equals priority. You know, we show up. And so being here for me, you know, is definitely an honor and a privilege. It's always an honor to talk about 91. It's an honor to talk about, you know, Alabama State football and Alabama State as a whole. I spent the last 3.5 years in Huntsville having to endure them Bulldogs up there. But you only need one Hornet, you know, to bring down a Bulldog. I found that to be true. But you know, this organization, one of the things I definitely want to make sure we put out there is, you know, throughout the year, we do a lot in order to bring in revenue that we then turn around and pour back into the program. And one of the largest things that we do throughout the year is our golf tournament, which is always the Friday before the Labor Day game up in Prattville at Robert Trent Jones. So you're going to start seeing more coming out from us about that. We're going to have a twist this year, we believe, for the tournament. We really hadn't fully baked this yet, but since we got, you know, I'm a person that believes in targets of opportunity. So since we got this target of opportunity, we're going to have a twist this year where we're going to add a little D9 flavor to our golf tournament. So we absolutely are going to welcome any and every golfer, but we're going to put out a little bit of a challenge to the D9 family to see who wants to step up to show their support and love of this school and their support and love of these student athletes. So we're going to combine that with golf to really turn up with a community service initiative for this golf tournament to give our brothers and sisters within the D9 an opportunity to expand their help to the community while at the same time showing love for Alabama State University.
Okay.
Yeah, I see Caver Properties tell the viewers. So tell you a little bit more about kind of what we do and how we support with Coach Robinson. So obviously, if you don't know, a lot of people are already aware that every Sunday home game, we cook and provide food to the football team. And we're not talking about hamburgers. We're talking about real meals that those guys take home with them to the dorm with them after the football game. Because if you're a football player, you realize Sunday evening after practice is the most quietest time of the week. You don't hear nobody cheering, anything like that. It just came off. So one thing I would tell the viewers on what we need is I get with Eddie kind of beginning of the year. We talk about some strategic goals. We talk about things that he wants to be able to see or go through. And the same thing happened this year. So what I'm going to do this year, what we're going to do as a group this year is put those things out there. And so Caver Properties 399, if you check our website, or if you have my email address or even our Facebook link, you can reach out to us. Because what we try to do is we try to first obviously focus on the players and the coaches, what Eddie Robinson thinks he needs or what he says he needs. And that's what we shoot for each year. Each year, our money is raised focusing on those goals that he says that he wants to have around the program. So whether it's, like we just got through buying 4 more TVs for the football, for the locker room. We're getting ready to buy a few other things as well. But again, all those small things that you may think really means a lot. Right. We got a lot going on. Obviously, the NIL thing is going on right now. We're doing those, the schools doing those things. But what my plan is to put out there, Caver, the things that we talk about, strategic goals and things, whether it's short-term hits, or long-term goals. We would definitely put those things out there. And with our events, he talks about the golf tournament. We need sponsors. If you ever had a golf tournament, you've been in a golf tournament before, and you talk about fundraising, the fundraising is the sponsors. So we'll have a list of the sponsorships out there that you can sign up for to be a sponsor. We want you to play golf as well. But again, we make that's our biggest fundraiser is our golf tournament, which is on Labor Day weekend, which obviously we play in Birmingham and on that Saturday against Southern. But that Friday we play right there. We play golf tournament at Robert Trent Jones in Prattville, like Thrill was just saying. But that's it. So if you want to talk about it, we'll have that out there, man. You want to get with me or Thrill, please do. But our whole thing is to try to raise money for those strategic goals, because again, it's all about planting the tree in order for other people to enjoy the shade.
That's right. And just to piggyback on that, everybody who's watching this podcast, if you own a business and you are within the Alabama State umbrella and you're a family of Alabama State, that golf tournament is your opportunity to give back. All the way from being a title sponsor at 5K, where you're up on the banner, you're going to be permanently displayed through our website, all the way from there down to a $300 sponsorship of a hole. We can sponsor lunches. There's all types of things that can be done, and many hands make light work, right? So we need a lot of people to do a little as opposed to a few people doing a lot. So look for what we have out there on the website. You don't have to be a member of FIB to support FIB, and any support to FIB is support to those athletes you see running up and down that field. So please pay attention to that golf tournament. We don't like to do fundraisers all year long. We like for that golf tournament to be our major fundraiser, and then from there we can be about our work of actually providing things for the school and for those kids. So please keep a lookout for that. Things are going to ramp up pretty quickly here after the spring game as far as that golf tournament is concerned.
Okay, awesome, Chris. And that golf tournament is going to be, once again, it's going to be that Friday, or it's going to be on a Sunday or Friday?
Friday before the game, Friday morning in Prattville on the 28th, I believe, of August.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. And the game is on the 29th of August. So there you go. Yes, indeed. Appreciate everybody for your comments tonight, everybody for watching, man. If it's your first time checking in, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe here for all your Bama State football content throughout the season. We're in the off season. We still giving you guys good content, bringing some great guys on the platform to promote the FIB, man. This is very important, very important for the football organization, the program, that we support the FIB, right? So is there anything you guys want to put out there before we wrap up? Any extra, anything that we didn't talk about?
Well, I'm hype on HBCUs, man. One of the couple of things I think about is HBCU, and what I always talk to people about when we're out at different fundraisers, or we're actually at different places talking about Alabama State, and that's a family environment. Chris hit a point earlier about reaching out to the parents, allowing them to know that your child coming to Alabama State is, one, going to be taken care of. Two, if they're serious about getting an education, they're going to get an education at Alabama State. Three, there's going to be opportunities out there for them, and they're not alone. That's one thing about HBCU that I love. Even though I may graduate, I'm still family. I can still pick up the phone and reach out and call. And as a football player, that's another great opportunity for us as an organization, that they can reach out to us to say, hey, I'm taking on this, I'm doing this and that. Who in the football world can help me? I can almost guarantee you that there is a place, there is somebody that's doing what they're trying to do in our organization, or we have a wide enough net to ensure they get some training, some on-the-job training opportunities to work in the summertime or different things like that, no matter where they come from. Like I said, again, we talk about the NIL deal. Obviously, that's the world. Whether we like it or not, that is the world we live in. I do want to make sure I foot stomp the Tavares Jackson Award. Every year since we started this, we've honored a football player. Coach Robson and the coaches would decide on the football player that meets the criteria of our award, and we award them financially. And also, obviously, we have a couple of people that are right around Alabama State that continue to provide support for them as well too. So we try to give back as much as possible. But again, your prayers, first of all, is what we need. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world that's got our minds all over the place. I got to remind myself that, like Chris said, it's been 40 years since we've been back there. So there's 40 years of difference between me and a young guy that's playing football right now. But there is a connection or a bond that we have from Alabama State Football Program. So again, those are the things I want to continue to foot stomp, man. Let's get with the football players next week. Again, come out, enjoy yourself, get to meet the guys you play football with, get to meet the guys you cheered for when you were in the stands during your football season. They would love to see you, love to chop it up, love to share some memories that we talked about before and learn more things about what's going on with the program as well.
Yeah, that's great, man. Chris, anything you want to add?
Yeah, JB, quickly, I just want to say, we really appreciate you for this platform. And we appreciate what you're doing for the school. We appreciate what you're doing for the program. As we were talking, before we came on air, this is a partnership that we're going to continue. And definitely you will see more of JB and FIB, as we go throughout the season. So we're definitely looking forward to that collaboration. And this is just another opportunity for us to, if you have the heart of a servant leader, TC has it. I thank God that's something that's important to me as well. If you have the heart of a servant leader doing these types of things, while it may be hard work, it comes easy because you care about the outcome, and the outcome is how we affect these young men. So thanks again for giving us an opportunity, man, to come on your show. Thanks for everybody that tuned in. This has really been awesome. We will continue to be the bridge builders, just like that planting that seed for the tree. We're building that bridge for the one that's going to come behind us. That's what we're here for. And I gotta say it. I'm still a young Neo, so I gotta say, rude to the worthy bros out there. So, TC, I'm sorry.
I'm actually surprised that I didn't get that all throughout the whole thing. I was expecting that to be all throughout. JB, I'm telling you, man, I'm proud of that kid. And this is where you can understand. It's this again where you talk about brotherhood.
That's right.
As an Omega, as a Kappa man, look, man, we love the Lord.
That's right.
We love the opportunity to be able to give back and to support each other. Like I said, I'm so glad he became a Q. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We talked about it before, man. He looks good. He looks good in it. He looks good. He may want to look good in red and white. You know what I'm saying? He may look better in purple and gold. Red and white ain't for everybody. Ain't for everybody, man. Ain't for everybody.
As you can see, we got the Qs and the Cowboys. Hey, we can work together and get along.
That's right.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all bring so much information, and y'all do so much, and for you guys to bring me in to, I appreciate it, man. I'm just doing what I can do, to support Bama State football, Bama State athletics, and just to put the message out, put the word out, and just get everybody on board, man. So I'm just doing what I want, what I think I need to do. And for you guys to reach out to me and, be right there at my call, I really appreciate that, man.
Absolutely.
All right.
Man, we appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
So for everybody watching, man, one more time, we got a big weekend coming up. Not this weekend, but next weekend. Make sure you guys come out and support. Come out to Alabama State, April 11th. Black and Gold Spring game. It's at 11 a.m. Right after that, you got the women's flag football game around 1:30 whenever we get done with this Black and Gold game. So make sure y'all stay in the stadium, support these girls that will be going on after the spring game. And all the events that TC mentioned earlier. If you missed, go back because he mentioned a lot of events from Friday to Saturday night. Make sure you guys tap in. And if you're FIB, I already know you're going to be there anyway. So it's going to be a big weekend coming up, man. And we really appreciate y'all for joining us tonight. Appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody who tapped in with us tonight. And once again,
I see Cable.
You saw that? You saw Cable?
Yeah, I saw it.
Ain't for everybody, man.
Yeah, man. Once again, man, for Thomas T.C. Catchings, President of FIB Alumni Association, Vice President Chris Trill Hill, we signing off, man. I'm JB. Thank you guys for joining the show. This has been the Black and Gold Show, and we'll see you guys on Football Alumni Weekend, April 10th and 11th.